What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
What's up, guys, and welcome into the Vover Tuesday NBA show. Count it. I'm your host, Justine Brown, and today is August 24th, 8/24, or as we call it and know it in the basketball world, Mamba Day. Yesterday, August 23rd, would have been the late, great Kobe Bryant's 43rd birthday, and I thought today, for Mamba Day, we would honor him with the show and talk about some of his greatest moments, some of which we've talked about before many times, but they're always worth revisiting, and we all want to keep the Mamba memories alive. So that is what we're going to do. And we're going to start off with none other than the number one Kobe moment. I wouldn't say number one. He's won a lot of championships, but one of Kobe's greatest moments that comes up so often is that 81-point game that he put up in 2006 against the Toronto Raptors. On January 22nd, 2006. To me, I think one of the most notable stats about this performance was that Kobe had just 26 first half points, which typically when a guy starts out with 26, we start going, is he putting up 50 this game? Sometimes we see the 50, sometimes it levels off. It ends up being like 35. But when a guy has 26 first half points, I don't think anybody sees the foreseeable 81 in the future. And in this game, the notable thing was that the Raptors were winning most of the game. And to that point, while Kobe was pretty much the only one on the team making anything happen, Coach Sam Mitchell stood by, they're not winning, so we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I don't think he anticipated Kobe putting up 81, but he just kept putting points on the board. It was no question one of the single greatest performances in NBA history. The Lakers, down as many as 18 in the third quarter, led by Kobe Bryant, started to pour it on and quite frankly just didn't stop. Kobe scored 27 in the third quarter, 28 in the fourth quarter, and led the Lakers inevitably to a 122-104 home win against the Raptors in one of the greatest performances we have ever seen. And I think what was most notable about that season that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, his scoring average after that game was 35.9 points. It was a season that many think Kobe should have and could have won the MVP award. It went to Steve Nash that season. But this was somebody who was pouring it on people every single night, but that did not take the awe of 81 points and an 81-point performance away from anybody. So that was one of the greatest Kobe memories we'll all remember for a long time. Those highlights will live hopefully forever. Young kids everywhere need to see that one because that is iconic. And that one leads me to another memory that was April 13th, 2016, Kobe's final game ever, where he scored 60 points against the Utah Jazz. And the reason that game just blows my mind was it was so much fun. Anybody watching knew we were watching Kobe's last game. We were watching Kobe's last minutes on a basketball court. And sure, everybody wanted to see something. And, the game itself didn't matter all that much. But this was a guy who on his way out was like, oh, you guys want a show? I'm going to give you a quick 60. And he did. And it was just like every bucket that he dropped and every shot that went in, basketball fans collectively lost their minds. I remember watching it on Twitter, and it was just like such a spectacle to experience in Kobe Bryant's last game. He led the Lakers to a win against the Jazz, 101-96. He scored 15 of the Lakers' final 17 points. He outscored the Jazz in the fourth quarter, 23-21, and he ultimately hit the game winner to give them the win. It was truly a storybook ending to an incredible career. It actually, literally right now is making me emotional because I'll never forget watching that game with, like I said, collectively the entire basketball world. Nobody was missing that game. And for him to be able to do it in such a fashion for his last show on the hardwood was absolutely perfect. It was fully Showtime. It was so Kobe of Kobe in his final game. And I think the memory is even sweeter now knowing that was one of our last collective memories with Kobe that we'll ever have. And so that was a really, really special one. And I think it ranks up there high, even if the game didn't matter that much. I think it's one of his greatest performances and one of those entertaining moments that every fan wanted to see, wanted to have, and we got it. I would say another one of the most encapsulating Kobe moments, Mamba mentality moments that I can remember from Kobe's career. There was tons. There was playoff runs, there was championships, but as far as a moment that single-handedly captured the essence of Mamba mentality, it was the fourth quarter of a game on April 12th, 2013, when Kobe had played almost every minute of the game, including after hyperextending his left knee early in the second half. There were 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Kobe made a move, went down clutching the back of his leg. He had torn his Achilles and convinced Lakers trainer Gary Vitti to let him back on the court to shoot his 2 free throws. Hobbled, barely able to get out there. He went out there, nailed 2 free throws to lead the Lakers to an eventual 118-116 win over the Golden State Warriors on a night when Steph Curry scored 47 points. And it was just grit like we've never seen it before. Somebody who just refused to quit, even in the face of an injury that was going to end his season, with a goal in mind of getting that Lakers team to the 8th spot. Kobe Bryant was out on the court with a ruptured Achilles, scored 2 points with a ruptured Achilles. And that right there epitomizes Kobe Bryant and the Mamba mentality, if anything ever did. And then lastly, call it cliche, but I think one of the greatest moments we'll ever remember of Kobe Bryant were his moments with his daughter, Gianna, that we got to witness, them sharing and loving the game together. In Kobe's next chapter that we got robbed of what we were going to get to see in this next chapter. We at least got a glimpse seeing him coaching his daughter and the Mambasitas and seeing him courtside at the WNBA games, talking with Gianna, running through plays with her, and advocating heavily for the women's game. I think that some of Kobe's best work was in those couple of years we got to see after he hung up the shoes himself. And I know for a fact that he had bigger plans, but that impact that he left and that Gigi left with him together will be felt for many, many years to come, and that needle was moved forever for what he was trying to build for his daughter and all women to come after her. So I think it always goes to say that no matter how great somebody is in their profession, how great somebody is in their skill, these are human beings with lives and plans, and life is short and it's precious, and we need to appreciate people wholly for all that they are. And Kobe, despite getting far less time than we all anticipated with him, than we all thought we'd get to see in the second chapter, left us all with groundwork and foundation and a blueprint for what we can be outside of just what we're defined by, whether that's basketball, whether that's being a doctor, whether that's being a writer, whether that's being a speaker, that we all have so much more to give. And we don't know how much time we have to give it. So shout out to Kobe on Mamba Day. We miss you. We honor you. Thank you for sharing Gigi's light with us. Happy 43rd birthday, and here's to 824 Mamba Day. This has been your Vover Tuesday NBA show. I'm your host, Justine Brown, and I will catch you guys on Thursday.